So the dahlias are doing really rather well. There looks like there are cuttings to be had. So I'm going to go through some of these and see what I can take. So I've got my cell tray prepped up with some of my seeding compost, and all I need to go is give it a super soak now. Just watering until you start seeing the water come out from the bottom. Yep. There we go, it's starting to come out. Got that sat in a tray now just to capture any of that excess water that's going to come out from the bottom. So I've got everything ready. I've got my hormone powder in the spoon because I'm not dipping into my pot because I don't want to do any cross-contamination. I've got my water to dip in before I put my hormone powder on. I've got my Zen ports up there in a bit of bleachy water because again I don't want to cross-contaminate because dahlias are diseasey and dirty things. And I've got my rather fabulous cutting here that's ready to go. So this has just been in the cold greenhouse, not on the hot mat anymore. So once it started sprouting and it was looking quite good, it's actually been in my cold greenhouse for a whole week, and it's looking rather chunky and lovely here. So I'm going to do a cutting off of that. So if you see, we've got 2 sets of leaves here, and then it goes up and it's up, and you get this apical dominance here. So we're going to cut this apical dominance out and take advantage of the growth hormone that's sprouting out of this tuber here. Now you can pinch these out with your fingers, but if I put my finger next to that, you can see how chunky that stem is, and I'm never going to be able to pinch that out with my fingers. So I'm going to use my Zen ports. So I would never, and I've seen people on the internet say cut it with a bit of the heel of the tuber, but that's the eye. If you remove the eye, you're going to have no more shoots coming up to take cuttings from. And if you take this cutting, what will happen is it will make this tuber compensate and it will send up more cuttings for you. So don't ever take your eye out, and then you would never have the eye on this tuber to then send up flowers later on either. So don't ever take the eye out. So here we've got the first set of leaves here. So we're going to go just above there. I'm just going to get my scissors and snip that out. Here's my beautiful cutting. So I'm just going to wallop off those leaves at the bottom there. My scissors have been in the solution to sort of wash them off. And actually I might just take that across here because I was going to take those off, but actually they're going to come through soon. And take that one off as well. And we're taking those leaves off for transpiration because we don't want the cutting to lose any more water than is necessary. We want it to keep it all within the little cutting. So next I'm going to go over to the hormone powder. So I'm just pre-making my hole ready for it to go in. It's nice and wet in there. Lovely and wet. And now I'm going to wet the cutting. And I'm just going to get my teaspoon. I'm just going to roll it around in the hormone powder. Like that. Then I'm going to put it to the hole, because we don't want to be pushing into one without a hole, because you're just going to wipe all that hormone powder off and just make it sit on the top of the soil. So I'm just going to drop it into the hole and then squeeze the soil around the cutting. Now don't get carried away and go make loads of cuttings. Make sure you label as you go, because otherwise you'll end up with a whole load of cuttings and you won't know what they are. So label as you go. I'm going to go through and do a few more of those. Now the only one I wouldn't do a cutting on is teeny tiny tuber like this. And you can see it's quite fragile in its cutting anyway. It's just, it would exhaust it too much, and I want this to actually turn into a plant and bulk up more tuber. So I would probably leave this one alone. But all the ones that have got bigger tubers or clumps of tubers, then I'll be happily snipping away on that. Just a few times though, because if you take too much, you'll exhaust the tuber out. So I've managed to get 7 cuttings there, plus 2 unknown ones over there in my tray that we woke up from the dahlias 3 weeks ago, and there's enough space in here so as the others come, which they are, I'll be able to take cuttings from them and just keep adding them to this tray until it's full. I'm going to go and put the dahlias that I took the cuttings from back onto the hot mat to start the cycle again, to heat these up. But these ones I'm actually going to go and do a soil temperature check in my really light greenhouse because I'm looking for humidity for these guys. So the greenhouse is currently 19 degrees, and you can see, even though it's a grey day, there is a lot of light in here, so that's brilliant. But I wanted to check out the temperature in here, and the humidity inside these propagators is amazing, and I think that is about 24 in there, so that's brilliant. You can see the humidity going on in there. So I'm actually going to evict the 3 trays that are in here and actually pot my cuttings with the Delft cuttings, which are still looking perky and lovely. They haven't fallen over or anything, so they're going to go in there and take advantage of the heat, the light and the humidity. In they go, and I'll keep an eye on those and those. Just goes to show you don't always need to have like all these heat mats and lights and everything because it's already here. If you've got a greenhouse, then you can do the same sort of situation if you're using a propagator. It creates that humidity, which is very important. I'm going to go off now and plant some foxgloves in my garden. I hope you have a really wonderful weekend. Easter's coming, and I hope you get lots of time in your garden to do lots of wonderful things, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.